Hey girl, hey! So this video is going to be talking about all about my experience. I got this requested a lot when I recently mentioned college, but I'm going to be talking about all my experience and advice from my college process thus far, which is just applying, visiting schools, and choosing a school that's right for you. So I recently, and by recently I mean less than a week ago, committed to a college, if you have not heard. But basically, this is really fresh information because I'm still a senior. I have not graduated yet, but I just finished the whole application process. Just a disclaimer really quick, I'm obviously not an expert, this is just my personal experience, and also I am not going to tell you which college I chose and which college I'm going to, so if you're on this video looking for that information, you're not going to find it here, and I'm not going to give it out publicly. It's just for safety reasons, so I just hope you guys respect that. Okay, so starting out, my first kind of experience with college was 2 years ago. This sounds kind of ridiculous, but when my brother was applying to colleges, I went and I visited a couple of them with him and my family. So that was kind of my first exposure to it, but I really wasn't thinking about it for me. And I should have probably been paying it better attention, but I'm not going to any of the schools because I'm not going to school in state, which is where he is. But it was good for me to kind of get a taste of like visiting colleges and learning about the process then, even though I probably wasn't as in tune as I could have been. I was only a sophomore and I didn't think it was something I needed to worry about then. So my first tip, do your research. Research is the most important thing when you're looking for a school. Just search online, look at every single aspect you can think of. I know this is hard when, especially if you don't know what you want to do or you don't really know what to look for in a college or what feels right for you. It's kind of weird in the beginning because you're kind of just, there's thousands of schools all over the country and you don't really know how to narrow it down. If you know what you're going to study, search schools with good programs for your major. Definitely that's something to take into consideration. If you know where you want to be, look for schools in a certain area, look for schools of a size that you know. It all depends on your preference, and this is, I know this is kind of common sense, but just like make sure if a school is like, you really want to go there, but they don't offer your major and you have to settle for a major that's kind of similar but not exact, don't go there because you're going to be paying a lot of money. And if you know you want a specific major, find a school that has that major. I mean, you have to find a balance. There may not be a school that has every single little thing perfect to your needs. Take the SAT. Obviously, I took it in May of my junior year. That's the first time I took it. And then I also took it in November of my senior year. My scores were okay, but I thought I could do better, and I was like so sure, because I didn't study or anything, I didn't prepare for my SATs at all, and I was so sure that I was going to get so much better on my November SAT, and my overall score went down when I took it the second time because I didn't prepare anymore. But the thing was, is my math score went up, which was my lowest one that I wanted to improve, so I was happy anyway, because usually colleges look at your best particular scores from each section, like put together, not just your best overall score. So I was kind of happy with it, even though my second score went down. Overall, it balanced out. And then summer came around, and I remember I literally didn't think about college the entire summer at all. I really wasn't smart about it, but whenever I would like think about it, or like a college would mail me something, college, the idea just freaked me out because I had no idea where I wanted to go. And I didn't want to face it and research more and look into them. I don't know why, but it just really freaked me out, and I didn't like thinking about college throughout the whole summer. So I kept putting it off, and I didn't do anything, and then school started, and I kept thinking that something was just gonna kick me in the butt and like make me start applying to colleges. Like, I thought maybe in like my senior trans class we would have done college stuff, but no one, there's not going to be someone to hold your hand through it. I mean, there might be, your parents might force you to do it. Mine particularly didn't. My mom kept saying that we need to do weekly meetings, which might be good for you, but I was just like, no, like I don't want to think about college. But what really pushed me was there were workshops at my school where once a week during tutorial, which is like a study hall, we would meet in a computer lab and they would help you start applying and stuff. So finally, this was like October, I still hadn't done anything, and finally my friend dragged me to that. We're like, well, let's just go. So I went, and the counselor, well, he wasn't really a counselor, but he's like the college guidance person who was leading it. He didn't force you, but you just kind of like, it was like you do your own thing, but they just kind of guide you. And so I didn't know what to do. I was like, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I want to do. I don't even know what to look for. And he's like, just start a common application. And a common application, by the way, is usually private schools where it's all in one application. And in most private schools, you can just put them on the application. And then you can apply to a lot of them at the same time. So basically I was like, okay, I guess I'll do that. So I started my application, and then after that day, I went home and I was really excited to work on it. And so I finished my entire application that night. And I was like, well, I really need to add some schools to this. So then I started researching, and then from then on, college was more of an exciting thing. Like, I actually enjoyed the application process, and I found it exciting and fun. I don't know if that's normal. It can be kind of grueling and tedious after a while, but at first I kind of thought it was exciting, and my kind of anxiety and panic about college melted away once I sat down and started the process. I think that's really important because I was kind of afraid of the unknown, but once I really got it organized and went with it, then things got better for me and I started to really look into colleges more. If you're offered like a college preparation or application workshop at your school or something of the sort, definitely do it. I think after that I did the entire thing without my parents. My mom wanted to help me because she had helped my brother a lot, but me and my brother are really different. I'm really independent, so I did it completely on my own. My mom helped me like from time to time. Once I started my common application, that's when I did real research, and I mean, I went in depth from private schools, and I knew I wanted to be in the California area, but at the same time I applied to 3 schools in state, 2 public and 1 private. The public schools, you definitely need a safety school. Even though I knew I was going to get into some of the private schools too, just because of my grades and everything, I still wanted like a public safety school. I had 2 of those. Like, if I didn't get into any of my other schools, even if you know you're going to, just apply to a safety school just in case. I applied to the private school in state where my brother goes because they gave him a nice scholarship, and I wanted to see if I could get the same thing. I don't know, I applied to 11 schools total, which for my friends and people who live around here sounds like a lot, but I've heard of people that applied to a lot more, so I don't really care. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Apply to as many as you think you need to. I just like to have options, and I'm glad I applied to a lot because then I do have options. When I did my real research, I looked in depth at, I would look on, you know, the US News, Princeton Review, different sites that rank colleges on a variety of different things, and I really narrowed down the schools that I thought would be right for me. I focused on private schools in California because the private schools would help with merit financial aid. Well, yeah. Like, they would give you more merit scholarships than public schools can if you're out of state. I started to decide which schools would be best for me by looking online. You can watch like online tours. I looked up tons of YouTube videos, people doing their little dorm room tours or like interviews with students from certain schools. And I knew that I wanted to be in a not super small school. I didn't want to go to a small school. I wanted to be somewhere that wasn't too religious. I wanted to be somewhere that obviously the location was important, and somewhere with a good political science program. So that's basically what I aimed for, and I've narrowed it down to 11 schools, like I said, 3 of which were in-state. 1, I had a reach school, which was super reach, which was Princeton University. I applied there because I wanted to go there ever since 6th grade, or like younger than that when I toured it. Not like seriously toured it, but I saw it when we went on a trip around America, and I fell in love with it. And it's one of the best political science schools in the nation, and I've been in love with Princeton forever, so I knew that I obviously was not going to get in. This isn't me being like modest, but it's just me being realistic, and I didn't get in, so I thought so, but I just applied because why not? Like, I was already doing the common application. So yeah, reach schools can be, obviously that's like way reach, like my arms are not long enough for that reach. Not 100% sure if you'll get into, it's kind of a gamble. I'd say reach schools, or it's like 50-50 or lower percent chance. But I think reach schools are good to apply to because even if you don't get in, oh well, you'll have other options, but you can just see, maybe you will get in and you'll be really proud of yourself and you might even go there. So don't count yourself out of any school. If you want to apply to Harvard, go for it. Like, there's no one stopping you but yourself. I was super organized, and once I started, like, this is something just about me. Once I start something, I want to get it done and I don't want to stop anytime soon. I don't take breaks from things very often. So I was basically done with all my applications before the by like mid-November, I think, and I started them in October. And I just kept up with everything. And what I found was super, super helpful was I made a spreadsheet on Google Docs, and the column would be the school, and then sideways would be like certain things I need to submit, like the common application, the supplement for that school, because each school on the common app will usually have a supplement that is specific for that school. I'd have if I paid for the application, then like, I don't know what else, like if I had to send in, you know, letter of recommendation, my transcript, you know, etc., etc. All the documents required to send in, I would have on the left column. And then like on the schools column, I would have the date that it's due. And then once I'd like sent it in, I would type in green, and I would have it in red if I hadn't done it yet. And then I would type in green the date when I submitted it, just to keep it on my records. And then like, that's something that really pushed me because I wanted to turn everything green on that spreadsheet. So yeah, I'm just really weirdly organized like that. This might seriously help you if you're really bad with deadlines, but you need to keep up with deadlines because if you miss a deadline, there's no turning back. Some schools have early action or early decision where it's an earlier deadline where you might hear back earlier, but be careful because some of them are binding. So if you hear back and you're accepted earlier, then you have to go there and you might not have wanted to be binded to a school. So just make sure you know if you're applying, if it's binding or not. But if you do want to be binded to it, like power to the people, then you'll know earlier. Once you apply, sometimes, most of the time, they'll send you like a little login for their web advisor page or something of the sort where you can go on and check your application status or any documents you might be missing and just make sure you're up to date on what you need to send in or what hasn't been completed or something, because there might be something you're not even aware of. On your application, just, you really don't lie, but you can kind of like play up your strengths. Don't be modest because there's so many people competing against you that you have to be able to stand out. And if you have something different, then like play it up. Like I talked about my YouTube channel and talk about things that you're really passionate about and it'll show through. And just be yourself, honestly. That's all I can say, but you could have guessed that. Okay, so once the applications were all in and everything, I made sure to visit all the schools. Not all of them. If there were schools that I knew I was not going to go to, I didn't really visit them. I'd seen all my safety schools. I'd seen Princeton. I visited USC. USC was my top choice, by the way, and then in the end I didn't get in. But I visited USC in January when I went to LA for IMATS. The two schools that I was deciding between in the end I hadn't visited before because I didn't, because like that's the thing is you can't get dead set on one school because then if you don't get in then you're just like, oh, like what do I do now? But that's kind of what I did as I was dead set on USC, which I can't say I regret it because I mean it's good to have goals and everything, but like this is what I went on this website. I'm pretty sure it's like CapEx or something. I went on so many college websites. There's like College Prowler, that's a good one, CapEx. I'll link some of these websites down below if you want to check them out, but it's like student reviews and things where you can really see what a school is like. And I went on this website and you can like put in all your stats and your GPA and everything, and it'll tell you how likely you are to get into a school. And mine for USC was 50-50 exactly. Like it was like, well, they've accepted a good number of people with your qualifications, but they've denied just as many. So I was like, oh, well, that's good. But I was still hopeful, but then I ended up not getting in. Know what you're getting yourself into and just prepare yourself for the acceptance or the denial. If you get denied, it's not the end of the world. Like you applied to other schools for a reason, and I'm glad I applied to a lot, so I had my options. Getting your first few acceptance letters is a really good feeling. Congratulations, it's really exciting. Had all my decisions around like right before the 1st of April. I was denied from, like I said, I think I've said all these, but USC, Princeton, shocker, and UC Berkeley. But I was accepted to all the other schools I applied to. Once you narrow down your choices to 2 or 3, I think once you have all your decisions, I think it's really important if you can, if they're close enough, or if you have the opportunity to visit them once again, or for the first time, like me. Last weekend, I flew down with my dad and we visited both of them, and that is when I knew where I wanted to go to school. And I know that this is so cliche, and I'd heard this so many times, but I never believed it. I always just thought it was a cliche because I hadn't felt it before. But when you're at the school that's right for you, you will know. Like you'll just feel it. It's not like an epiphany, like punch you in the face, like, oh, I'm going to school here, but you'll just feel the sense of belonging and feel that the school is right for you. I'm completely honest. I didn't believe anyone who said that, but once you're there, you'll know that that's the school for you. And It's true. It's really true. If they have like a freshman day, go and attend that if you can. Then you can meet different people from around that were also accepted that might be your future classmates. And once you decide, then it's such a weight off your shoulders, because the entire month of April up until like a few days ago, I didn't know where I was going, and all my friends would be talking about all this stuff. They were so excited for the colleges they picked, and I was just like, I don't know where I'm going. Weighted the decision for me is I wanted to go somewhere like prestigious, not necessarily prestigious, but like the hardest place I could get into that has like the best academic, what's the word, reputation, that's like most widely known. That was important to me. But in the end, it's going to be somewhere where you feel like you belong, and you can picture yourself walking through the halls or living in the dorms, and it's just like a combination of overall where you belong. And it might not be the best school you got into, but it's still going to be a good school. After that, I got home and I filled out my housing application and put in my enrollment deposit and all that good stuff, and now I'm officially an incoming freshman this fall to college, so I'm really, really excited about college. I'm sorry this video was so long, but I just wanted to get in everything I could. But that was basically my entire experience applying, visiting, and hearing from schools and committing. So if you guys have any additional information you'd like to add or any advice to give to other people reading the comments, comment down below if I missed something or anything like that. But I love you guys. Thanks so much for watching this video. I really hope it helped you. Thumbs up if you want to see more college videos. Love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.